started. Thank you for being here. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Katie Barnett, and I'm a writer, an actor, and a creative currently based in the DC area. And I'm delighted to be on the podcast today.
What is your inspiration? What inspires you?
A lot of things inspire me, but I would say the biggest one right now is I am very inspired by a combination that I see in people where they have resiliency and courage. This just gets to me and powers what I do. So I have a lot of people in my life who have been battered by every imaginable thing. You name it, they have it year after year, and yet they still choose to fight. And not only that, to better themselves and allow their pain and struggles to grow their empathy while they still shine their light and express kindness and hope for things. And I just think it takes a certain type of guts to live like that, to be that tough and bold, to acknowledge reality and yet keep what's important to them. And when I see people like that, I get inspired by the depth of humanity. And I also want to push through my own barriers in life and also in art.
Mhm. What's your background story? What's your I always ask like superhero, so I'm a nerd. So what is your origin story?
My origin story, particularly with art, is when I was 10, I accidentally happened upon a preview for a musical. It was one where they show a number from the show, and it was one of those moments where the world stands still and there was a glowing light, and I just knew I must do this. But I was 10, didn't have a lot of life experience. I didn't recognize how profound that moment was. From there, it did begin a journey of me trying to get those opportunities. But where I grew up, there was a lot of environmental and opportunity and financial barriers towards going after theater. So I wasn't able to get the training, the mentorship, the skills I need. So the result was I was kind of even steered away from that and told, like, oh, it won't pay the bills. So I found myself in college choosing English just so I could be near theater scripts. It hadn't occurred to me yet, like, I could actually go after this. But in my young adult life, I just was like, this is not going away. I need to do something. So I found this major theater in Pennsylvania and went to their auditions. And it was a disaster because I didn't have the singing or dance training. But I look back on that with a lot of affection because I had the guts to go for it. And thankfully, during the pandemic, I sat down like so many of us did, and I said to myself, every couple of years you have dared to write in your journal, I just want to quit everything and act. And like, you're in your 30s now. What's holding you back? And I was honest. I'm afraid because I can't sing. I am older than everybody. I'm too old to play XYZ. But that was all on me. So what did I do? I followed some advice I heard where somebody said, if you want to go for an impossible dream, take the smallest next step that's accessible to you. And I didn't have money for training at the time, but I signed up for a Udemy course. I got a deal on it, and it was about acting. And I bought a book online, and I would wait till all my housemates would leave and sing YouTube karaoke into my iPhone and listen to it and then re-record it until I kind of sounded better. And I did this for 2 years because I was like, the world isn't going to open till then. Lo and behold, virtual theater started up at that point, and I went to some auditions trembling and feeling silly about myself because I was like, this isn't even a stage theater, it's a Zoom theater, although like getting that close to the camera is its own thing. But I started getting opportunities, and after the pandemic, I got more opportunities, and some directors really took a chance on me. I questioned their judgment, but I am so grateful to them, and the opportunities ended up going really well. And I think the more I took little risks, I took bigger risks. I applied for a conservatory program that was affordable, and by then I had a little more means, so I got in. And since then, I've just been incorporating art and theater into my life whenever it works with the rest of my schedule. And also, I do have some chronic health issues, so sometimes I have to go a little slower than I'd like, but it's really become part of my life now.
Mhm. That's so cool.
Thank you. I
That's
can't believe it. I'm still here like, wait, just because the internal voices as well. Like when you have so many setbacks, it tells you you can't do this, you don't belong there. I mean, it took me 20 years to be like, wait a second.
Right.
This is just me talking now. Like I can do this. And yeah, there's a lot of work for people at entry level. Like you don't have to be Broadway or Hollywood. You don't have to be good. You can go after something if you love it and really enjoy it and grow along the way.
Mm. It makes me think of, I was thinking about, well, you said guts, and you said guts a couple times. And there's this thing about diligence where it's just like, yeah, you're gonna have those voices, but you're also gonna keep on wanting to try. So just focus on that. Where do you get those guts from?
You know what? I have asked myself this question and I don't know.
Mm.
I think it's a thing, like a passion thing, where if there's something you're really meant to do, it will not leave. Like that golden moment when I was 10, I described, like it would hit me. Like every time I would go watch a show in a theater, I would hurt inside. And it took me years to realize that. And I just remember the first time I went to a theater after having gotten in a show, I was like, something's wrong. And I was like, wait, I don't have hurt anymore. Like it was so weird. So I think the guts for me comes from if something is so beautiful, you're willing to go through the cringe, the embarrassment, the hard work, the frustration of, oh, I feel my health issues acting up today, so I can't even do the work I would want to do. You know, it just drives you. And I think realizing what's the cost? I look stupid for a moment. Like, am I going to die from it? No. Like, I can keep going, and you never know when you'll get that yes and that chance to improve yourself.
What is the definition of an artist for you?
To me, an artist is somebody who creates something from within themselves in some form that can be visible to others.
Mm.
And it can be painting, it can be acting. I think even creative living, like you have a job and you need to figure out how to get all your work done and you find a creative way to do that. Like all of that is art. And I think sometimes the external art aligns with what we see inside, but a lot of times it doesn't. Like doodling on paper, if you try to draw a turtle, even if it doesn't look like a turtle, like that's still art. Any attempt at it is art as well,
Do you
in my
consider
opinion.
yourself, do you consider yourself an artist?
I do. Yes. It took me a long time to get there. Though part of that Udemy course that I mentioned, the instructor was like, call yourself an actor now. And I was like, no, but I was like, I should try it. Maybe he's right. And so I said that. And it took me maybe 4 or 5 auditions, like even after I got some professional work to be like, this is true now. But I think once you decide to do something and once you get rid of thoughts in your mind that it has to look like XYZ, shows us, you know, the Hollywood and the Broadway. And I'm really in respect of that. I love that. I appreciate those people and even some people I know going after it. It's great. But like you can act for one person and still be an actor. So owning that is really a wonderful thing. And people just have to give themselves permission to do that. And it's a lot harder than it seems. It took me 2 decades. So it's a journey for sure.
What if there are other people that have a little bit of the like that pain, like they want to do something, but they're too scared? What advice do you have for them?
Oh, I could never. It might be because it's just a very vulnerable thing for you because there's a lot we all do in our lives that we make work. Like your car check engine light goes off, you make it happen somehow, but we don't give ourselves permission sometimes for the things that are vulnerable. So if you have a pain in your heart, I would say look at what's available. Instead of checking social media for 10 minutes, could you spend 10 minutes on a monologue or watching a YouTube video or hey, maybe trying out for something? It will take some logistical adjustments, and there are times in life where external barriers will prevent that, but a lot of times it is just ourselves limiting ourselves, not looking for the opportunities that are attainable. So I would say go for it and small. Like for me, it was writing in a journal at different points over 10 years. I want to be an actor, but that's not possible. But I was acknowledging it. And that in itself is a step.
Mm, that's wonderful. You're wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
You really
So
are
are
wonderful.
you. I was so glad that we met at the local playwrights festival. That was great.
Well, I mean, I love the idea of courage. And my definition of courage is you do it, but you're scared. You're still scared, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
still do it, right? And I love
Hmm.
the idea of consistency, just doing the same like over and over to develop your craft. And I
Mm.
also love the idea of guts, where you're like, I have all these barriers, but I'm still going to push through it. And I don't know if I told you, but I had a stroke 3 years ago, and that is my journey every single day. And that little bit every day helped me learn how to walk again and see again. And then I could, act and do things that I never thought I could be able to do beforehand. So I am a huge proponent of the guts and courage and doing diligence. It's wonderful.
That is so amazing. And I remember when I met you, you mentioned something like that, after we got to know each other. And I was shocked because in the shows we were in, I was like, who is this luminous individual? And you brought so much to the stage. And then I heard your story and I was like, so inspiring. I mean, you go right into that category of, the type of person that inspires me. So I I am so encouraged by your journey. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, luminous. Luminous individual. That's
It's
fantastic.
just what you give off. I was just like, this person is luminous. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. This just made my whole day. So if someone wants to find out more about you or follow you, where do they go?
Sure. So right now I'm developing an Instagram actor account, and you can get there. It is Forest of Arden. Katie Barnett is what I'm under now, so you can look for me there. And I'm still starting small, so that's pretty much it. I do have a backstage account, and I'm on other casting sites, but Instagram is the way to go. And feel free to reach out if you have acting opportunities or if you just want to talk about art.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. This has been really cool.
You're welcome. Thank you.